Hi, it's Enrique from Canine Perspective. Today we have Dude here. Dude is a new board and train, and we're starting him on the dog truck 3500. In this video, we're just going to be covering the numbers, so like the connection, perception, and working number or levels. So connection is the number that lets us know that we have contact with the neck. So there's two contact points, right where the box is right here, that go to the neck. And if when we hit a certain number, we'll start to see the neck twitch. So that area is going to have a little twitch. That lets us know that we have contact. As we go higher, because we want more than that, we'll get perception, the perception level, which we'll see Dude like look around, maybe look to his left side because that's where the box is, but he won't really care about it. Like he'll just look for it, but won't do anything about it. And then the working number is the number that makes him want to do something about that number. So we're not trying to make him yelp, roll around, or jump around. We're just going to go as high as needed. Also, the environment right now, we just came from a pack walk with all the dogs, so all the dogs are sleeping and resting. There's one dog in the playpen with a ball, and there's one on place. So there's nothing really going on. There's construction going on to the right, but it's pretty quiet. So in this environment, so the reason why I'm talking about the environment is the environment will depend on your number. So if we were at a park and there was like dogs everywhere and like picnics and everything, a lot of activity going on, his number might be different. So don't get too attached to a number and think that this is going to be his number forever. It's always going to be changing. As we work with Dude and everything, we'll start to recognize when to go up or like what he needs. But right now, I know nothing about how he's going to do the e-collar stuff. Things to expect, maybe confusion or for just the working number, I wouldn't expect much. Once we start doing the exercises is when I'll do the expecting. Is that for Dude? Okay, yeah, that's right. Alright, so we're going to start. So again, this is the 3500. It's got 127 levels. We're going to start at 5. So I'm going to be saying tap, 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 and then that's my rhythm. So if I go tap, 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 that's my rhythm as well. So what I'll be doing is bumping it by 5, 3 taps, bump it 5, 3 taps, bump it 5. If I don't get the results I'm looking for. So I don't say anything, I don't do anything with the leash. I just look at the remote and focus on what Dude does. So we're on 5, and I'm pressing the neck buttons, the bumpy one on the side of the remote. So tap, tap, tap. There's 10, tap, tap, tap. Bring it back over here. 15, tap, tap, tap. 20, tap, tap, tap. See, he doesn't care about it right now. 25, tap, tap, tap. 30, tap, tap, tap. 35, tap, tap, tap. 40, tap, tap, tap. 45, tap, tap, tap. 50, tap, tap, tap. 55, tap. So this perception right there, I saw his ear go back and then tap, 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 60, tap, 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 65, tap, 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 70, tap, tap, tap. So I'm gonna go 73, tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna go 80, tap, tap, tap. So right there, that's a big jump. Gonna go down to 75, tap, tap. I'm gonna go down to 60, tap, tap, tap. 65, tap, 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 tap. Go back to 80, tap, tap, tap. Although he's making a big jump, so tap, 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 tap. He's still just walking around. He's not too concerned about that. So 85, tap. See, he's still smelling. I don't know if you can see. He's smelling. Tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna go to 80. Go to 90. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. So I'm gonna dip down back to 85. So his number's pretty high up there. In the beginning, there was contact. I noticed it, but as I kept going higher and higher, he just kept blowing it off. For example, he was here smelling, and he was like tap, 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 but he's still smelling the rock, so it's not a concern. Even though there is that connection level right there. It's showing us we have connection. It's not high enough for him to disengage with the smelling. So when we start doing exercise, we're going to need that number to help us disengage dude from smelling, maybe being reactive, or just like during those exercises. So 85 was his number here. In a new environment, it might be higher, it might be the same, it could be lower. Dude told me his number, which was 85. We'll work with this number throughout the training exercises. As we do the training exercise, we might find that the number might dip down just because he's becoming more sensitive to it. In the beginning, it's usually always like higher than it usually is. But yeah, so the connection, perception, working is 85, and we'll end it there. Great. All right, so Enrique from Canine Perspective. We have Dude, our board and train, and this video is going to be covering the healing exercise. So for the healing exercise, our rules for the heel, so Canine Perspective style of heel, is Dude on my left side, his right shoulder aligned with my left leg. He can't forge, he can't leg, he can't go left, or he can't go to the other side. This is like the exact position he is supposed to be when under the heel command. For the leash and everything, we want enough leash for him to make the mistakes, but not for him to. So yeah, just the slack is the most important part, because with our style of heel, it's with the slack leash in any environment. So he's supposed to walk with me, or stay with me, sit when I stop, or walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop. So when we take 5 steps, Dude takes 5 steps. When we stop, he stops. So what I'm going to be doing is having my the loop in my thumb to lock it, and then my e-collar in my right hand as well, and then I'll have it about right here. Right here is perfect. That little J right here, right above his armpit. This leash is the perfect length, so I can have it on my left hand. But right here, he is able to step over it. Yeah, so I'll take up some more leash. I'm going to use it one hand. So like this. For the first time we were finding the working number, it was like pretty high up there, like in the 80s. Dipped down back to 72 because it's been some time. So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm not going to use the cue of the word or anything, just because we're starting something new. And once we see that he's starting to understand it, then we start introducing the word to it, to the exercise. So I'm going to start walking. Dude is most likely going to start to forge. So I'm going to start walking, and he's probably going to go ahead of me. Once the right shoulder passes my left leg, I'm going to do an immediate 180 the opposite way. So if I'm walking this way, it's going to be a 180 that way. And then I'm going to start tapping. So it's going to be 180, tap, until he returns to the position of heel, which is right shoulder with my left leg. If he lags, I can speed up or maintain the speed. I like to speed up and start tapping, just so he can catch up. If he shuts down, puts the brakes on in the middle of our walk, I keep walking and I start tapping until he flushes out to my left leg. And then I'll talk about the auto sits after. The auto sits, so when we come to a stop, he's supposed to sit. If he doesn't sit, I will pull up and pair that with a tap until he puts the butt down. I'll just start reinforcing that now so he can start getting to the habit of sitting when we stop. So I'm going to start it. I'm not going to say anything. So right here, tap. Good. If he's paying attention, I do a slow turn just to see. So right here, tap. So right there, that was a pretty big jump. I'm going to dip down. I'm going to go to 25. So right here is a little bit of lag, so tap, tap, tap. I'm going to dip down some more. I'm going to go down to 15. So that was a high number. He shot to the right. If he goes to the right, we want to pull him back to the left, so tap. I'm at 5. Tap, 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 tap. So again, he started tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. So when I went down to those lower numbers, tap, 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 tap. So since that first tap I gave at the beginning was such a high number, tap, 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 tap. He's becoming more sensitive to the lower numbers as well. So I'm going to leave it at 26. tap, tap. So right here, pull to the left, tap, tap. And I didn't tap right there. Tap, tap. Pull to the left, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Better. Slow turn. Increase my speed. Slow. Slow turn. Slow to a stop. And here he doesn't sit, so I give a up tap. Good. A few things that he did. He kept going to the right. It could have been because of the high number. He's panicking a little bit, but we want to keep correcting that. So I was just pulling back to the left and tapping. I think at one time here he jumped on my back. I still kept tapping and moving him over here. For the turns, he was starting to his head was curving around my leg, just because he's expecting that right turn. As we talk about turns and everything, that will we can get rid of that, or it will soon go away. So I'm just going to do it one more time. Sorry, tap, tap, tap. I'm going to dip down. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap. Tap. Good. So to a stop. Good. Right now he's in the perfect position. He still needs more clarifying with the not going to the right side and staying on the left side when I turn, I believe. When I turn, he starts to take that shortcut, just going behind me, but he'll end up on the right side. We don't want that. So I'm going to keep reinforcing that, keep correcting it. Other than that, he caught onto the auto assist real quick. I was expecting some sort of panic just because he is. I just assumed that because he's more of an anxious type, nervous dog. So I was expecting the panic and kind of the jumping and everything. But I think that it was just due to that high number in the beginning. So we just worked through that. Just keep doing the exercise, clarify to him that he just needs to walk here, don't force, don't pull, just stay on my left leg. And then we'll do one more. so now I'm gonna start saying the word heel. Heel, tap, tap. So when I say the word heel, if he doesn't, so right here, tap. If he doesn't follow, then I give a tap. So it's going to be heel first, then we start moving. So I'm just going to keep practicing these slow turns with him, just to see if he's paying attention. Slow to a stop. I'll start correcting the positioning later. I was right here. He should have been up here. And then the other part I'll be covering, the other thing I'll be covering in this video will be the break command. So when he's in heel mode, this is how he should be on my left leg. And then for the release word, we're going to be using the word break, which means he can potty, sniff stuff, run around, chase dogs, play with his friends, or do whatever, just be a dog. So how we would teach that is just say the word and then use a leash to guide him away from me. We're not tapping, we don't need to use the e-collar for this, so it's just break. And then he can do whatever he wants. Hi, it's Enrique from Canine Perspective. We have Dude here, a 1-week board and train. And this video is going to cover the second part of the heel, which will be the turns. So we're going to be talking about the left turns and right turns. So what I'm going to cover first is going to be the left turn, because it's the most difficult. And right now, his number is 32, so we're going to leave it at that. So for the left turns, for turns and stops, we're always going to slow down prior. So if I'm in a heel and then I'm getting ready to turn, I would slow down, and then Dude should slow down with me. If he does not slow down with me, I'm just going to do the correctional turn. If he slows down, then I proceed with the left turn. So if he's slowing down, what I'm going to do is lead with my right knee, my right leg, and make it very dramatic for Dude. So it's going to be the right leg, left leg, and then right leg again. So tap for the set. Bump it. 40. So it's going to be the heel and the left leg. So heel. Good. Tap. So I slow down. Dude should slow down with me. So I will proceed with the left turn, which is going to be the right leg, left, right. I slow down. Right, left, right. I slow down. Right, left, right. Do it again. Tap, tap. Tap for the lagging. I slow down. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. I'm going to slow down to a stop. Tap for the sit. So those were good. Again, if he didn't slow down with me, I'm just going to do an immediate correctional turn, which is the 180, and then tap until he comes back to my leg. Now we're going to do the right turns. So with the right turns, we're going to start with our left leg. So I'm going to go into a heel, and then I'm going to slow down, and and then I'm gonna extend my left leg and bounce back on my right and then the left. So heel. So I slow down, tap for the sniffing, tap. It's gonna be left, right, left, and then tap. He's not paying attention. I slow down, left, right, left. I slow down, left, right, left. Left, right, left. Tap. Left, right, left. Slow down. Left, right, left. You slow down to a stop. Good boy. So now I'm gonna mix it up for him, just to see where his focus is at. I'm gonna be doing the left turns, right turns, and then slowing to stops. If I'm doing the right turn, which is the left leg, right leg, and then back and left turning that way, again, if I slow down, he's not paying attention. I don't care about extending the left leg or anything. I just do it immediately, the right turn. So I'll mix it up for you guys. So it's heel. I'll do a left turn. So it's going to be right, left, right. A right turn, slow down. Left, right, left. I'm going to do a left turn. Right, left, right. I slow down. Do a left turn. Right, left, right. I slow down. I'll do the right turn, so it's left leg, left, tap, speed up, left, right, left, crossover, right, left, right, now slow to a stop. Good. And those are the turns. Hi, it's Enrique from Canine Perspective. We have Dude here at BNT, a board and train, and we're going to be covering the place command in this video. First time he's going to be, I'll be working place with him. So we're going to start low. We're going to go down to 20. His working number was around 36 now throughout his training exercises we found. So the place command is pretty simple. I cue the word. He's not allowed to hop off this lifted dog bed. He can lay down, sit, stand, chew on a bone, whatever he'd like, just can't hop off the bed. The bed can be anything from a yoga mat to a rug to a towel or even a couch. But for here at the facility, we use the lifted dog beds. So when I'm starting this exercise for the place command, I'm going to be just focusing on the send-offs. So I'm going to start close, use the leash for leash pressure to guide him there. I'm not dragging him, I'm just having the leash pressure there, so it's present. And I'll be pairing it with the e-collar. So it's going to be the leash pressure and tap, tap, tap until he gives into the pressure and goes onto the place. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. Things to expect, he might not want to go, so he might show his panic and just start bucking around, or maybe he might just resist and just hold until I get that number, and then he flushes out. Or he might just do it. So I'm gonna start low. I'm gonna put my foot on the placemat in case he does decide to buck around, so I can hold the placemat. I'm actually gonna go down to 15. So a pair of leash pressure. I'm not going to be dragging him. So tap, tap, tap. There we go. It was my first time doing that. So break. So I'm just going to keep repeating it. And just for the send off, it doesn't matter if he's sitting, standing, or whatever. I just want him to hold this position. So tap, tap. Good. Break. Tap, tap. Good. So now, since he's getting it pretty quickly, break. I'm gonna start doing it backwards. So I'm gonna start tapping and then the least pressure. So I'm gonna hold him here. Tap, tap. Good. Good boy. Break. So I didn't tap here or anything. It's nothing wrong that he's doing, going to place before I tap. He's just trying to beat the punch, but for training's sake and for our sake, we want something to train. So we're just gonna hold him here. Tap, tap. There we go. I'm gonna dip down, go down to 10. Break. So hold him here. Next we're gonna go down lower to 7. Tap. Much better. Break. I'm going to slowly start increasing my distance. Tap, tap, tap. So now I'm going to use leash pressure. Tap. There we go. So right here, tap, tap. Break. I'm at 14. Tap. Break. So wait a moment. Tap. Good boy. Good boy. Break. So I'm not even using the leash at all, except to hold him back. Tap. Tap. There we go. If I was in a position, break, to have to use the leash to help him out, but I'm here, he's not getting it. Let's say he's backing up, trying to get closer to me because he's probably going to think heel or get closer to me. I'm going to use a leash like this and just have that pressure on. If he's still not getting it, I take one step forward and then it will help him figure out where to go. What we do not want to do is this dragging right here, because then the leash becomes part of the command. What we started seeing here is that when I gave a tap, he just went, no leash pressure at all. And I would keep repeating this, repeating it, keep going farther, and then I do the other side, because I've only been practicing it from this side so far. So if I start to get, so he's not in place right now, so if he hops off, that's okay. So break. So if I keep increasing my distance and I get to here, tap, tap, and if I get to here, and then I do that same distance, so paw's coming off, tap, 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 tap. So tap, tap, better. So I did it pretty far. So if I transfer that same distance to this side, he's gonna have a difficult time because it's a new side. It looks different to him. He's not gonna recognize it. So if I'm gonna be switching sides, which I will be, I will wanna work on each side. I would wanna start close, then work my way out each side. If dude has his own bed, you would want to do the same thing. So right here, before I started talking right here, he started hopping off. One paw went off, then I saw the other paws went off. So then we would start tapping, see what he would do. He's most likely going to continue hopping off if he doesn't recognize it. But then we would use the leash. You can take her out if you want. We would use the leash to guide him there. So I'm going to show real quick the duration exercise. So he's on it. I'm going to do a little walk around, but I'm going to hold the leash like this, because I'm going to assume he's going to get off. And then once he does get off, I have immediate control of the leash to guide him back. And then I also have the tapping. So right here, I gave him praise, but that doesn't mean he's free to go. Good boy. So right here, tap, tap. Good. So he took 2 steps off, I tapped, did a little reverse move back onto place. However, his back feet ended up off it, and then he corrected himself there. So that's the place command. Good boy. When practicing this command, we have a tether, and then the placemat, and then columns. So we use a tether for the dog. We give enough slack for them to make mistakes. So right after this, dude is going to be on the placemat again. And he's going to be on there for duration work, so he's going to be on there for a few hours. We'll have his remote. He'll be tethered, so if he gets off, we'll just tap. When practicing this at home, if you have that option to do the tether, go for it. If not, you can lay down a towel, do the same exercise I have done. Have that short leash on, drop it, and step on it, sit on your couch, place it by your couch, watch TV, and just have him next to you and your remote. So if you feel tension, that means he's probably getting off, and you just correct it right there. But yeah, he's only allowed off when I issue the break command. So break, and that's it.
This is Bree from Canine Perspective with one of our board and trains, Dude. Today we're going to be going over stay and the sit command with an implied stay. You would use the stay command if the dog is already in position. So Dude is already sitting and we want him to stay sitting. So what we would do is we're going to grab our leash a little bit closer up with our left hand. And then in this hand, we're going to have the end of the leash with our remote. So what we're going to do is we're going to anticipate him getting up. So what we do is wave our left hand, or hand closest to him in front of his face, and say stay. So stay, and then you're going to pivot out with your right leg in front of him. The reason why we're holding it here is so we can pull up and tap to get him back into this sitting position in case he were to break it. So for this, all we're going to do is pivot out in front, wait a second, and then pivot right back to his side. And then you'd repeat that a few times before progressing. So, Dude, stay. Good. And then praise. Good boy. Break. So you do that a few times. And then again, stay. So I didn't need to tap or anything because he's not breaking position. So we'll do it again. Stay. All right, so the next progression for the stay command would be to make a half circle out in front of him. So same thing goes, we'll hold it a little bit closer just in case he breaks position. For this, especially once we start making a full circle around, you might notice him moving around, like swiveling, but not getting up. If he does that, that's okay, like it'll go away over time, usually. We just don't want his butt coming up off the ground. So we'll try again. Stay. Back to the side. Good boy. Pick. Again. Tap. Stay. Also for the stay command, when you're giving the command, you don't have to worry about if they're looking at you or if they see your hand. Like, they can more than likely see out of their peripheral. Go. Good. Stay. It's also important that you remember to move it out with your right leg because it can get confusing for them if they're used to left leg, meaning stay with me and walk with me. If you were to start with your left leg for stay, then they're more than likely going to follow you, assuming that that's what you wanted. Stay. One more time. From there, turn go full circle around. Shh. Good. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back to him, praise him, don't say anything, and then repeat that and see what he does. Praise him. Good boy. Break. Good. So what I was doing there is I was testing him to see if he would break position after getting praise. Lots of dogs actually do that because of the excitement of the praise, but it's important to remember that just because you get praise doesn't mean you're released. Only the release command can break dude from his commands. So we'll go over the sits right now. So the sit is if he's walking, standing, and how we would get him to sit is light pressure up with the leash. You don't want to like pull or yank, just gradual pressure up with a tap from the remote. So tap, tap, good. So I'll dip it down a bit, go to 65, we were at 74. So here, if he lays down, technically he's in the sit command still because I didn't give him a release or I didn't give him a new command. So you don't want to reissue the command because any new command overrides the old command, so it would just like reset the sit. So what I would do here to correct is just lightly pull up, tap, tap, good. Good. So also that brings up a good tip for when you're walking in heel. Let's say you come to a stop and your dog auto sits and then eventually lays down. You might, as a dog owner, you might let that go because you think that, oh, they're tired, like I'll let it slide. But the heel command for us is very strict. So if you let that slide, then they'll pick up on that and they'll be like, well, if I can lay down and nothing happened, then I can go sniff this, I can go walk over here, do this. So it's important just to remember the discipline behind it and just how strict the heel command is. So we'll go over sits some more and work on the duration with it. So again, up, tap, the sit. Go dip down more to go 58. I just want to break. Up, tap. This is normal. Go dip down to 40. Good. Break. Up, tap. Good. Up. Break. So I'll try tying in the word with it. Do sit. Break. Alright, so here he's a little too far back. So what I'm going to do is take light pressure with the leash forward and tap to see if that will get him to move up. Tap, tap, and then up, tap. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Shh. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reissue the sit command after I release him, and then I'm going to work on the duration part of it. So I'll correct anytime he gets up from the sit, because our sit is has a built-in stay with it. So break. Up. Break. Two, sit. Tap. Good. So just like with the stay command, I'm pivoting out with my right leg. Good. He's not swiveling around and he's not breaking position, so that's good. Yep. So what you could do with heel is practice some stays with it. So get him to auto sit. Good. Stay. So what you can do is you can walk in heel for a couple steps, give a stay, walk around him, heel. Stay. Away. You could also practice the stay command at stoplights. You can do this, or if you're picking up his poop, you can make him stay while you pick it up, and then come back to him, go into heel, walk to a garbage can, put him in a stay, throw it out, and then continue on with the walk. Heel. Break.
Hi, it's Enrique from Canine Perspective. We have Do, a board and train, and then Breed. We're going to be covering recall. So our setup right now, we have the two handlers, a 30-foot long leash and then a short leash. I have the 30-foot, she has the short leash, and I have the remote. So recall is the come when it calls. So if I say, dude, come, dude is to immediately come to me, straight to me, and then he's to stay in the 1 to 2 feet vicinity of me and to be sitting. And he's to stick with me until I release him with the command for the release command, which is break for him. So how we teach this, we're not going to be using the words right away. I'm going to reel in this leash until I get tension, and then with that tension, I'm going to be pairing that with the remote, the e-collar. So I'm going to start low, because we are teaching something new. So the reason why we have 30 foot, because we want to be realistic as possible, because usually when people call their dogs, they're kind of far away or they're moving. So we have this 30 feet to create that distance. Throughout the exercise, dude might want to beat that tap for the e-collar and like just stick with me. So that's why we have 2 handlers and then the short leash to keep that space. So another thing that long leash does is it makes the command happen. So we're always consistent with we're always consistent with our the recall. So every time we say come, dude has to complete it. So this is why the 30 foot is here. As we do this exercise, so for the long leash, as we do this exercise, you're going to see me reeling in and then taking 3 steps back after I call him. So once I get that tension, once I feel that tension, I'm going to pair it with the remote. I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm going to pair the e-collar with the tension, and then a few things might happen. Dude might get closer to Brianna because of the heel, or he might just back up because he's unsure because this is something new. And then when I'm pairing this with the tension, with the e-collar, the tension, I'm also going to be pulling him a little bit back so that he can see. And then as I'm pulling him, I'm taking steps back to draw him in. And then once I see him like shoot or like start to make his way, 3 more steps for him to see as a visual for the recall, which is very important. We're always going to be taking the 3 to 4 steps back. I'm going to hold and then let him complete it. If he passes me, I turn, face him, and then the same thing, tap and 3 steps back, hold, see what he does. But yeah, so I'm going to be pairing the tension, tapping, 3 steps back. Once I see him start to make his way, I stop the tapping, and then I start reeling in the leash. So I have the thumb lock of the long leash, the remote in my right hand, and then I use the rest of it to hold my left hand, and then I'm reeling in as he's coming. And then once he's close enough, I can just lock it with my pointer finger like this. And if he passes me, then I just start reeling in again. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll give the 30 feet, all of it. So right here, can you go back more? So right here, there's tension, right? I'm not tapping yet. Once I say tap, tap, or once I cue the word tap for Brianna, she's gonna drop the leash, and then I'm going to apply more pressure just to guide him to me. I'm not dragging or anything. The e-collar is doing it's motivating him to keep moving forward with the leash pressure. So as soon as I see him coming, I'm gonna take 3 to 4 steps back and then hold, and then I'm gonna stop tapping as well. So the pressure goes off once he starts to make his way to me. So there's tension right here. Tap. Good. Tap. Let him complete it. And then he sits, which is good. Give him some praise, and then break. So dude's number throughout the week for his training sessions has been inconsistent. It'll be super low, then it'll be like 80, so it'll be like 20 or 80. So right now, that was too much of a reaction, that yelp. So I'm gonna dip to 20. So I'm gonna repeat this again. So there's tension. No tapping yet. So here he wants to be tapped, so he's trying to get to me before I tap him. This is why we have the second handler and the short leash. Good. Tap, tap. 3 steps back. Pull. That's what he does. Good. And he sits. One the shot. Break. So I'll do it again. So here's tension.
I'm gonna leave him tangled. How's my neck? I'm gonna leave him tangled so we can.
And then Reed's going to leave him tangled because the leash tangled on Dude might distract him, which is going to be realistic because if you're pressing this outside and like let's say you're doing recall and a squirrel passes by, Dude's going to be probably interested in that squirrel if he has any prey drive. So we want to work him through that. So this leash tangle on his arm would kind of replicate that. So what could happen is he's going to be like, I don't want to come, there's like a leash around my paw. We keep tapping, keep moving back, keep the pressure on until he completes it. If the leash is wrapped pretty well, like on his back legs maybe, to the point where it might cause an injury, then we will take the time to address that and untangle him. But if it's something minor and nothing too serious, we just work through that. So there's the tension. Line settle. Tap. Move back. Hold. Tap and sit. Tap. Good. Not only did he sit, but he also moved closer, which is really good. Break. And then we'll do this one more time. So there's tension. And then tap again. Tap, tap, tap. Hold. Tap and sit. So what I'm going to do now, tap. Tap. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do it backwards now. I can already see he's getting it, so I'm going to start using the word. So it's going to be do would come, and then tap. And I'm always going to tap after the cue, because let's say you're practicing this with Dude, you issue the word, but then you think he's not going to come, so you tap, but then he actually is coming. He might get confused and think he's doing something wrong. So if he's on his way, you tap, he's probably going to stop and go the other way, maybe back to Bree, or if it was just one handler, just go the opposite way, because he's thinking he's doing something wrong. So when we tap after the cue, it's telling him that even though I tapped too late, you're still to complete the command that was cued. So it's going to be do, come, tap. And then if he's not doing the recall, then we do the leash pressure. So before it was leash pressure, then tap. Now it's going to be tap, then the leash pressure. And then we're always going to back up as, we're always going to back up. So no tension. Let him settle. Dude, come, tap. Tap to sit. tap. So right here, this is too far. Oh wait, tap. Tap. Almost. There we go. If he sat too far, right, that's not the full recall. So if he sat too far, like over here maybe, I would give a tap, or what I could do if he's not understanding it, I face him. I would face dude, and then tap and move back to draw him in. And if that's not working, then I would go to the leash pressure. And then he hasn't done it yet. But since he has so much speed, some dogs have trouble stopping. So let's say he had that speed right, but he kept going. I face him, tap and tap, tap, move back until he starts to make his way back to me. And the same thing if he goes that way, or if we have more space here that way, we will always face dude. So I'll give a pause just to let him settle. Dude, come, tap. Tap and sit. Good. Break. But his speed is really good. So I'll do 2 more. Dude, come, tap. So he passes, tap and sit, tap. So this is too far, I face him, tap, hold, tap, tap, hold. Wait a minute, tap and sit. Better. So, break. So what happened there was, I turned, faced him, and then tapped for him to come to me. But then he saw Brianna, so he said, oh, go to Brianna now, which was the wrong answer. It was to me. So we just worked him through that to clarify, to stick with me. I'll do 1 more. And then just to reiterate, it's dude, come, tap, and then leash pressure if needed. But I'm always backing up. Dude, come, tap, 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 tap. Tap. Wait. So right there you saw the confusion. I said, dude, come, and he was starting to come, and then I tapped, and then he paused, was going to head back to breathe, but then got tangled up. And then he looked, he was very focused on that leash tangle. But I continued tapping, I kept the pressure on with the leash. So that was a really good one. We like to see the confusion so that we can correct it. And I'll do 1 more. Dude, come, tap, tap, tap. Tap. Break. Now we're going to add in another exercise for dude that will help him stay with me. So when I call him, dude, come, tap, 3 steps back, hold, let him complete it. Once he gets here, if I move after I do recall, so let's say I take a step back, dude should be sticking next to me. And if he doesn't, I'll give a tap. So we're just going to do a couple of those. Dude, come, tap. Oh, shit. So tap and sit. Tap. 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 Good. So now, just because he's tangled up, I'm going to grab a little up here. So if I take a step back, tap, pat me, tap, tap, hold, tap for the sit. So now this is too far. So I face him, I step back, we tap, hold, he pats me, so tap, 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 hold. Much better. So now I'm going to face him again. Or actually from here, I'm going to take a step, I'll take a step back. One step back, tap, tap. I'm going to tap for the sit. Tap. Good. And then here I'll do another step back. Tap. Tap. Good. I'm going to face him. Tap. So here he passes me. Tap. Better. No tapping here. Good. Tap for the sit. I'll do one more. Face him. Tap. Good. Tap. Break. We'll do one more recall and one more of those steps back. So we always want to do steps to the left, right, or back. We never want to do forward. We never want to do forward into dude, because then he's going to think the heel command. Dude, come. Tap. 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 Good. I'll take a step to my right. Tap. 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 Hold. Tap and sit. Good. You take a step back. Tap, tap, hold. Good. Position myself so I'm able to take a step to the right. Good. Tap. For the sit. Tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap for the sit. No tapping there. So he's getting it. So we're going to keep practicing. We'll keep practicing the recall this way. When practicing this, tap, 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 tap. So when practicing the recall, break. When practicing the recall, we don't drill it out too much. Or like we don't have the owners drill it out too much. If they're by themselves, so let's say you go to a park and you're practicing this, and he's got prey drive, or like you're by yourself, and he's got prey drive, and he likes to chase squirrels. You would use the squirrels as to your advantage. Say break, let him chase the squirrels, and then dude come, have that long leash so that he's able to complete it. And then we would do this maybe like always mix it up. So like one day you go to the park, have him run around, do the recall, maybe like 2 times that day. And then the next time you go there, do it once. The next time you go there, maybe don't do it at all, and then maybe 3 times the next time. So don't be inconsistent with it, but be consistent with the recall, the actual recall. The reason why we don't want to drill it out too much is because if you drill it out too much, dude will not want to go on his break command. He's just going to stick next to you because he's going to be thinking, well, you're going to be tapping me anyway, so I might as well not leave. it, right? So always make sure you have the 30 foot, just so you're forcing him to complete the recall. Yep, that's just how you would practice it. If you have two handlers, this exercise would be fine. And that is it. Oh, and also if he didn't do it, but if he stopped halfway and was kind of lost or confused, I'd keep backing up and tapping.
Hi, this is Bree from Canine Perspective with one of our board and trains, Dude. Today we're going to be teaching him the down command as well as the sit command. So for the down command, what we're going to do is we're going to start off his remote on a lower number since we're teaching something new. So I'm going to start off at 20. I'm going to have the remote and the leash in this hand. I'm going to have it pretty short, probably right about here. And then with my left hand, I'm going to use light pressure going down and back on his shoulders while I kick in with pressure from the remote slowly. So we're starting at 20, tap, 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 tap. So there's nothing there, so I'm going to go up a bit. 22, tap, 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 tap. Go 26, tap, 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 tap. Almost. Tap. Alright, go 30, tap, good boy, break. Okay, good, so we're going to repeat that a few times. So for this, we always want to have him starting off in a sitting position just because it's easier. So we're still at 30, tap, 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 tap. 35, tap, 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 tap. 40, tap, 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 tap. 48, tap, 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 tap. Almost. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Good boy. Yeah. So at this point, like, I don't care how he lays down. If he were to like go on his back or something, that's fine. We just want to get him into the general position. We're also not going to care about if he breaks position on his own right now, because we can always fix that later. You should notice that with each time we do this, it should be easier. So it should go from me shoulder pressure and remote pressure to eventually just saying the word and then giving a tap, and you should just automatically do it. So we'll go one more time and then we'll tie in the word. Tap, 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 tap. Good boy. Yeah. Break. Alright, so now sit. So now I'm going to tie in the word. Do down, tap, 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 tap. Good boy. Break. Alright. Sit. Great. So now I'm going to try with the verbal cue and just a tap. And if he's not getting it with just a tap, then I'll give him some extra guidance and use light shoulder pressure. Do down, tap, 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 tap. Wait. Break. Do a couple more. Tap. Okay. Do down, tap, tap, So here I'm giving slower taps to give him time in between to think, because I want to see if he understands what he's supposed to be doing. Break. Tap him and sit. Lower. 48. So down. Tap. Good. Right. Alright, so now what we're going to do, since he has a pretty good foundation with down, we're going to help him differentiate down and sit. So for sit, what we do, since he's standing here, is with our leash pressure, we're going to gradually pull up. We're not going to yank or like pull. It's just one straight motion up, gradually keeping pressure, just enough for him to feel it, but not so much so you're just like yanking him up. And then we're going to tap with the remote to get him into the sitting position. And then once he complies, then as usual, like all the pressure goes away. So light pressure, tap, good, break. Up, tap, good, lower it, break. We'll put him in down position, do down, tap, 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 tap. So another thing you could do for down, you could also use pressure with the leash by stepping on it to limit, like for in that instance, he was kind of like all over the place. If I want to anchor him, what I could do is step on the leash, which I'll show you in a minute. But for here, since he's already in a down position, I'm going to give the verbal cue of sit and do the same thing we did, is gradual pressure up with the leash with tapping with the remote. So do sit, tap, tap, good. So here, to demonstrate what you could do with the leash pressure here, you can step on it here where there's enough tension for him to feel it there, and then tap, 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 tap. So that can help limit him like bucking around or moving to help keep him in place. Break. Yeah, we're good. Here, tap, sit. Good. Break.